Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Miss Mo. But today in this video, and also it's loud outside, and I'm near a busy street, so y'all might hear cars, ambulances, police officers, stuff like that. I'm not in no bad neighborhood or nothing like that, but it just be a lot going on that road. So apologies in advance for all the noise. But today I want to talk about continuing the conversation about self-love and loving oneself. And I was thinking about how I have like different starting points within my self-love journey. But I feel like an interesting starting point was when I decided to move from my home. So if you're new to this video, then you wouldn't know that I'm originally from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. But because I'm from the Atlanta area, what I truly say is that I'm from Decatur. I'm not from Atlanta, I'm from Decatur, but because people don't know too much about Decatur, they know more about Atlanta, I just say I'm from, for people who don't know the area, I just say I'm from Atlanta. But I'm really from Decatur, Glenwood, 107, Westwood. And I just feel like I have to do that. So I was born and raised in the metro Atlanta area. And I felt like, I felt like I needed to leave. And I feel like that's so strange that a place that you call home and that you know as home, you just felt like you needed to leave it. And it wasn't anything that I could truly explain to anyone, especially for someone or for people who are like satisfied living in the Atlanta area and just being in Georgia, period. I felt as if they probably didn't understand why I would want to leave my home. And I truly didn't understand it as well. But I just felt this desire, like it was like a very strong desire that I cannot stay in Atlanta. I just cannot. And I don't know if it's like just a creative part of me, the curious part of me that just needs to explore, which I think it probably is, but I just felt as if I could not be happy in Atlanta. And I think a part of that was because of the fact that I thought differently. I mean, I haven't spoken to every person in the area, obviously, but I just felt like being in the South, you have a Southern mentality, and being Nigerian and identifying as Nigerian American, there's also a mentality that's very strict and also very so you have like a strict Nigerian mentality and like a strict Southern mentality, and when those two things mix, it just seems as if, to me, I interpret that as if I was just kind of like stuck in a bubble, and I just did not like it. Like I love being Nigerian and I love being a Southern girl, but I just couldn't get down with I don't know, I just couldn't get down with it. So mixing the Southern mentality with the Nigerian mentality, it just kind of like conflicted with my whole being. And so I just had this desire. I just needed to leave. I just needed to go. I didn't know what the world had for me, but I just knew whatever it was not in Atlanta, Georgia. It was not there. And so I left. When I had the opportunity, I left. And to be honest, any opportunity that I had to leave Atlanta, I did. So mostly I would just try to travel to see family, and see friends and all that stuff. But if there was an opportunity while I was in school to travel somewhere, I was going to take it. Like, I just needed to get out of fucking Georgia, man. I just needed to get away from how the ladies and the women acted down there. Like, I needed to get away from how the boys and the men acted. Like, I just needed to get away from it all. I just needed something different. And so I left, and once I graduated from school, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to DC. I was like, I don't know what is in, I mean, I knew what was in DC kind of because of what I studied in school. Career-wise, I knew that DC might be the best place for me, but socially, and in a way that fits my personality, I didn't know where that place would be. And but I was like, fuck it, I got this degree, I know I need to make money because I got to pay back student loans. I'll just go to DC. And when I say I didn't have no money, I did not have any money, but I just knew I needed to get the fuck out of Georgia. And I moved to DC, and something that I wasn't expecting happened. And the thing that happened was that I started to change. And I started to like find my own voice, and started to define what adulthood would look like for my life. I told that story, and I'm here telling this part of it because, which kind of brings me back to like the purpose of this video, is that it's important. I feel like it's important in order to go on a journey of self-love. You need to leave your comfort zone, and that may be physically leaving your comfort zone and like leaving your hometown, leaving your parents' house, just getting out of that safety net bubble. Because what I discovered about myself was that by leaving Georgia, by leaving the Atlanta area and venturing out on my own, I realized that I didn't have a voice on my own. I realized that everything that someone was telling me, I just soaked it up, and I just like soaked it up like a sponge. And if there was somebody like coming up after me, like somebody younger, I would just like basically like squeeze out all the information that someone has gave to me, and I would squeeze out and pour it onto that other person. So it's like I really didn't have my voice. I just had other people's voices that I would try to mold into my voice, even though I probably didn't like align with everything that they were saying. It was kind of like, well, this is how the group thinks, so let me think like the group, and let me pour whatever thoughts that the group have onto this new person that's coming up. So it kind of felt as if like I didn't have a voice. And moving out of my comfort zone, moving out of Georgia, I realized that who am I? What is my voice? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want my adulthood to look like? Because I feel like my childhood was already kind of defined for me. Like, I acted the way I acted because someone told me to act like that. I feel like by entering to adulthood, in a time in my life where I actually moved away from my home, it allowed me to kind of define what I wanted my voice and what my adulthood to look like, if that makes sense. And so I just feel like it is very important to leave the nest in a way, like to get out of your comfort zone and to truly try to understand, to get out of your comfort zone in order to better understand who you are. Because I'll say for me, living in Georgia, how I interpret who I was by how other people defined me. And because I'm socially awkward, like not everybody gets to see the full me. So it would be people that I would just be like, hi. Like it would be people that I would hang out with, not even hang out with, but that I would interact with like that would approach me when they see that I can be loud and I can be funny and I can be ignorant and I can be inappropriate. I could be live, I could be dude, I could be dun 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 dun. Y'all know that trend or whatever? Okay. That's besides the point. But an attention span of a squirrel, I tell you. But oh yeah, but there'll be people that I would interact with and not in my full self that would be so surprised to see that, nah, I'm just like that with you because I don't know you. But it would be like conversations like that, and then it would make me feel as if, oh, I don't want to shock people too much. And so like people like, it'd be people like that don't get to see the full me. And when they are, and their perception of me, like kind of molds me and kind of like makes me want to just kind of like revert back to like, okay, let me not be like that then. Because they're not used to that, and I'm not, even though I am who I am, it's kind of like you're just trying to work in the mode of what the group is thinking. So if the group thinks like this, you just kind of like conform yourself to think like the group. And leaving Atlanta and coming to DC, like truly just allowed me to just kind of like learn more about myself and who I am and what I really want out of life. And I realized that a lot of things that I was taught to want, I don't want those things anymore. I mean, I just, because my thing is that I feel like when you're in new situations, it brings something out of you. It's like the old you cannot survive in this new situation. So it's like a new you is like you're becoming something else. You're becoming something else to adapt to your environment. And yeah, I just feel like the things that I once thought, it just doesn't align with who I want to be in the future. And yeah, I just feel like leaving the nest, leaving the city that you were raised in, or the state that you were raised in, or even the country. I just feel like it's very important to do that and to have that experience, so that you know who you are. Because again, how you define yourself is how other people are defining you. But when you are in a new place, you don't know nobody, and you kind of like have to start from scratch, you start to see that, okay, there are some things that I do that I don't want to be doing when I'm up here. Or there are some things that I like that I do that I really want to incorporate while I'm meeting these different people and being in these different spaces. So I just feel like, yeah, it's very important to leave the nest. And I'm very happy that I did. And I feel like everybody has their own path. And like, I never try to like force it down someone's throat, like they have to like travel the world and they have to do all these things. Like, you don't have to do all of that all the time, but I do feel like it's very important to experience it. And I think it's very important to experience living somewhere for at least a month that is outside of where you were born and raised, and wherever you see as your comfort zone. I just feel like that is very important to do, because it allows you to like really learn about yourself, or even get to know yourself. I feel like that's the most important thing that it does. It allows you to get to know yourself, because being in the same place that you grew up and never leaving and never spending a good amount of time, like a month, 2 months, a year, someplace else, I don't know. I will feel as if this is just my opinion. I would feel as if you don't really know who you are, because everything that you're doing in the confine of a comfort zone. And I feel like true change starts to happen when you get out of your comfort zone. So, yeah, that is about all for this video. I hope it wasn't too long. And I hope I got my message across about what I'm saying. And yeah, and I do want to say that although I have a lot of love for Georgia, but it's kind of like I have to love you from a distance. I don't know what it is about Georgia, but when I go home, and I still call it home, but when I go home and I see my family, I'm like, man, and I see my friends, I'm like, man, I love these people. But this state, I got to go. I got to go. I cannot. Whew. Oh, no. And it's not it's not like the people are horrible and everything just sucks. Like, Georgia is beautiful. The people are beautiful. But I don't know what it is. It's just that my spirit is just not fully comfortable there, even though I was born and raised there. And yeah, that's about it. And I do want to say this also, disclaimer, like, because I feel like I've had points in my life where I would leave home. I would leave, like, I would move out of, like, my parents' house or whatever. And situations would occur that would cause me to go back to my parents' house. And I feel like that's another topic. But I also feel as if that is not anything to be frowned upon. Like, you're growing and you're learning and you're just trying to get your footing right. So, yeah, I just feel like that's an important part of your self-discovery. Like, sometimes you have to go home. Sometimes you got to be reminded about what you don't want for yourself. Sometimes you may have to tap into who you used to be in order to give you the confidence to be who you need to be. And so, yeah, because I just feel like people might feel bad if they have to go back home, because I know that I would. But I just feel like, use it as a stepping stone to, like, get yourself together. But I think the big thing that I would focus on is the fact that you left home and you tried, and you're still trying to, like, love yourself and to just discover who you are and who you want to be. Yeah, y'all, so that is all from me. I truly appreciate you all fucking with my videos, and subscribing to my channel is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. And I will talk to you all next time.